It's that time of year again. Time for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at Magic Kingdom. This year, the parties run on select nights from August 9th to October 31st. Last year, John and I attended our first party and want to replay last year's episode to give you a taste for the event. Keep in mind that events, characters, and foods may not be the same. Actually, I was holding off on recording this as long as possible. It is July 19th, and they have not announced the new food items, so you're going to have to check Disney's blog for that once they get up there. But if you attend this year, let me know what is different and what your favorite parts were. And again, enjoy the replay. Talk to you next week. Welcome to the Roaming Yeti podcast, where we share travel stories full of nostalgia, interesting locations, and the tales behind those locations. I am your host and head Yeti, Beth Scalacci. This week, we're going to a party. We're going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. This is a special ticketed event that they have at the Magic Kingdom, and we were supposed to go 3 years ago. And this is actually our first time in Magic Kingdom for Halloween season. And we had reservations, like I said, in 2020, but as you can guess, both the parties got canceled, and of course we decided not to go down at that point in time. California Adventure in Anaheim has a similar event that we went to 14 or 15 years ago. Julia was in kindergarten, and we went to, so we really wanted to experience what it was like here in Disney World at Magic Kingdom. So just to give you a little background on it, the party starts at 7, and you can get into the park as early as 4 p.m. Without needing a park admission or a park reservation. And then it ends at midnight. So it sounds like a lot of time, but there's so much to pack into this event. You really sort of have to pick and choose what you want to accomplish, like what's your priority. I feel like I say that all the time about Disney, but they just give you so much to choose from. So you have to sort of either divide and conquer if you have different goals, or pick what you want to do and go for that. You have characters, you have event exclusive food, as well as the other Halloween food they have in Magic Kingdom at this time. There's entertainment, there's trick-or-treating, there's rides. So let me break it down a little bit, each one of these, before I get into what we did and our experience. Characters. One of the really cool thing about any of their after-hour events at Disney is you get an opportunity to meet and greet with characters that you wouldn't normally meet in the park on your typical day. Or they have on a special costume. A lot of Halloween costumes going on, of course. Near the beginning of the night, I walked up to one cast member because I wanted to know how long the line was for a Donald Duck. And she had told me it was already 2 hours long. And we had gotten in there around 5 or so. So I was like, this is going to take up almost half of the event for me to get my picture. So it just wasn't going to work with what I wanted to do. And like I said, as you know, in traveling and in anything with me, I am not going to yuck someone's yum. I love a character meet and greet more than anyone. I suggest doing them. But it just, the lines were really long. It just wasn't worth it for us to do that. We have stood in those lines. We stood in a Jack Skellington line that took hours. So we've done it. And if you want to do it and that's your priority, go for it. So let me help you out with who is there so you can start figuring out who's the top one to check out. There is Sally and Jack Skellington, and Mickey Mouse is on his typical, they're in the Main Street area. In Tomorrowland, you can find Stitch dressed as Elvis. Fantasyland has the most. Let me go through these. There's Ariel and Prince Eric, Belle and Gaston, This one was so hard to resist, but I did. Um, Tigger, Pooh, Piglet, and Eeyore all together in Halloween costumes. I'd seen pictures of them. Adorable. Um, I just, I had to resist. It was hard. Drizella and Anastasia are roaming around. Um, a really big one that doesn't happen often is all seven dwarfs were out. We actually stumbled upon them at a Christmas party once, and we have a picture years ago of the three of us with the seven dwarfs. But they're not out a lot, so that was a really big one. Timon was out for your Disney Junior fans. Doc McStuffins, Vampirina, Fancy Nancy. And like I said, it was Witch Mickey. Witch Minnie, Princess Daisy, and Pumpkin Donald. Are you kidding me? But no, 2 hours too long. There was Pirate Goofy. Those were all in Fantasyland. In Adventureland, Abu and Aladdin, which you don't always see them. Genie, which isn't always out. Jafar and Jack Sparrow from Pirates was out in Adventureland as well. Frontierland, it was fun. They had the country bears, but they were sort of roaming around. So it wasn't really a meet and greet. You could just sort of see them, high five them, get a quick selfie with them kind of thing. So they were a lot of fun, but you see them a lot normally in Magic Kingdom, but it was fun. Like I said, that's a character thing. If that's your priority, get there at 4. Some people got in line right at 4 or close to it when they were allowed to. Food's another thing to that you can spend a lot of time with. There is food throughout the park that is exclusive to the party. It cannot be eaten at any other time. I won't go into every single item that's available. You can find it on Disney's website. But we did try 3 desserts that I will talk about later. There's a lot more sweet options than savory options, but they were fun, and it was worth taking the breaks for those. Like I said, check out Disney's website. You'll see the food list. We did that so we sort of knew which ones we wanted to hit, and that worked out well because we were on the lookout in those areas. There's a lot of entertainment. There's a lot to keep you busy. There's parades, fireworks, stage shows. There is I don't want to say main event, but there is a Mickey's Boo to You Halloween parade that takes place twice a night. And I would suggest if you want to see the parade, if you want to see one of the parade, and you plan to stay the duration of the party to midnight, try catching the second parade. A lot of families have left. A lot of other people have left. You can usually it's easier to get a good spot to watch. Also, the ride lines tend to be shorter during the parade. So if you do the second parade, you can hit the rides then, or vice versa. But if you're going to do the parade, I would suggest holding out to the second one. This year there was a Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular stage show in front of the castle. Depending on the month of the party, this takes place either 3 or 4 times during the party. That wasn't really something we were looking to participate in. And there's also the Not So Spooky Spectacular fireworks that take place once a night and can be seen over Cinderella's castle. A lot of people like to see it at Cinderella's castle and on Main Street because there's projections and stuff on the castle. We heard the fireworks. We were in Pecos Bill finishing up eating, and we heard them, and I was like, that sounds really close. And they were actually firing them off behind Big Thunder Mountain, so we got to catch a few at the end. So you really can see the fireworks from a lot of vantage points within the park. It just depends what you want your experience to be. It's more of unscheduled entertainment, I'll say. In Frontierland, you can see they're not the Dapper Dans during the party. They are the Cadaver Dans Barbershop Quartet. Whew, that's a mouthful. And in Adventureland, there was the Rusty Cutlass Pirate Band. So those, are sort of roaming and they take place from time to time. So it's fun to catch while you're waiting for a parade, maybe, or waiting for food. They're a lot of fun. And again, for you Disney Junior, if you if you have little kids with you, there is a dance party over at Cosmic Rays. That was really cute. So, as the characters, food to keep you busy. Also, and shows. Yep. So yeah, characters, food, shows to keep you busy. There's also trick or treating. When you go in, you're given a treat bag, and there's stations throughout the park that are marked, so you know where, and you sort of walk through ride queues that aren't open, and you trick or treat. Mars Wrigley was sponsoring the treats, so we got a lot of M&Ms, Snickers, Skittles, Starburst, and not Starbucks. People would have been much more excited about that. Starburst and caramel Milky Ways, which as a caramel lover, I'm thoroughly enjoying. If you do have a food allergy, you can get a teal colored treat bag and collect tokens, and then you can redeem those tokens at the end of the night for a special treat. So that's the trick-or-treating. There's also rides. Many of the rides are open, and because the attendance is limited, the wait times are shorter. So these events are great for getting in a lot of rides at Magic Kingdom. I say how hard it is to do Magic Kingdom because of the volume of rides. This makes it a little easier. Only 3 rides, I was surprised, have what they called Halloween twist. Space Mountain apparently is just darker. I don't know. I don't ride Space Mountain. Mad Tea Party, which is the teacups, had cool Halloween music and lights. It was fun. And Munster's Laugh Floor, that was sort of the ending of one of the trick-or-treat queues. So you ended up in their performance, and it was just, stand up interaction. It was really cute. So it was fun. Tron was open, and they did have a special virtual queue during the event, which made it easier to get on. So that was a lot of fun. You can definitely wear costumes. We did not. We knew we were going in the beginning of September, and it was going to be hot, and boy, was it hot. John and I did have Halloween shirts I bought at Old Navy. Probably could have done better. I know we were a little bit of a disappointment to Julia, but we did our best, let's just say. But to the people that were dressed in full costumes, in long sleeves and pants, I salute you. I salute you for your commitment in that hot and humid weather. I saw a guy in a Tigger onesie. Yeah, sir, well done. Also there were 2 young women dressed as Natasha Romanoff and Yelena Belova in like their full Black Widow gear. Yeah, again, hats off to you. You win an award in my mind. Like it was hot, and they were rocking those costumes. So most of the costumes we saw were Disney themed, but I did see some Barbies. I saw some Mario and Luigi. So you don't have to go Disney themed if you go and decide to wear a costume. There are still some rules for people over 14 wearing costumes. So let me get my rule following voice here. No, but while you're dressed as your favorite character, you can never pose with guests or give autographs at any time. So don't let the little kids think you're actually one of the characters. Your costume should be family friendly and appropriate for the environment, and not be anything objectionable. Remember, this is a family event. There's a lot of adults only, but there's still a lot of kids. No weapons or look-alike accessories. Your costume can't have anything sharp or pointy. Additional screening may be required if you have a lot of layers on your costume. And your costume can't drag on the ground, can't be a hazard to you or other people. Capes can be no longer than your waist, but if Edna Mode says no capes, maybe that's a good idea. You can add costume headwear like wigs, hats, accessories, as long as they don't cover your face. And you can't wear any mask. If you're an adult or a teen, no mask at all. You're allowed face paint, but no mask. So how did our party go? How did our night go? Let's get into it. So we started that day in Epcot, and we did that because we were staying at Boardwalk. It's an easy walk over to Epcot, and we knew we could take the monorail over to Magic Kingdom. If you heard my Food and Wine episode, you know heat was really bad that day, that trip. And in hindsight, maybe we should have started our day off a little later because we were planning to go to midnight, which is way past my bedtime. I'm glad we did it, but it can be really, really late for me. We were sort of trying to take a air conditioning break in Epcot and trying to figure out sort of what to do for a few hours before the event. It was heat. They were calling for storms. So I sort of hatched an idea. So we decided to take the monorail to the transportation center. And then from the transportation center, you can either get a monorail that goes right to Magic Kingdom, or you can get on the resorts monorail that takes you to the monorail resorts, which are the Polynesian, Grand Floridian, and Contemporary. So the plan was to go to the Contemporary and check out a lounge there called the Steakhouse 71 Lounge. The monorail was already filling up with people that were heading to Magic Kingdom for the event. And I don't know if it was weather or what happened, but we sort of got stuck at the Grand Floridian for a little bit. But we still got to Contemporary, and we timed it sort of perfectly. We got really lucky. It was raining, and because the monorail stops inside the hotel, we were spared the raindrops, at least for that amount of time. But we were also, as proud as I was of this idea, we were not the only ones with the idea to pregame a little bit at the lounge. But it was fun to see like who was going to go, what costumes people were wearing. Groups were coming in and they were dressed as, they sort of had group costumes. It was a lot of fun, and we had just a couple drinks and some food and snack before we decided to head over to Magic Kingdom. Now, the nice thing about Contemporary is you can walk over to the entrance. It's still probably about a 15-minute walk, but the security line is just for people like walking on that path, so it's faster, and it was pretty seamless, given all the crowds walking in. The park was still open when we went in, so we were given you get a bracelet so they know you belong there, and then we were routed behind Main Street to enter the park, actually, which was sort of cool. It used to be more what they call backstage, but they've really done a nice job of just making it another route for guests. We were given our treat bags and our first trick-or-treat candy of the night. So John's mission was to get on Tron. He used the virtual queue. He went ahead because his number was called, and he enjoyed the ride. We had ridden it in Shanghai, and because of that, I will never go on it again. But John swears it's smoother at this new one, but I'm just going to have to take his word for it because we went on that in Shanghai. I was nauseous for a good 20-30 minutes after the ride, so I'm not in the mood. As I may have mentioned in the Food and Wine episode, my parents were with us on the trip, and they wanted to see the early parade, so we made our way over to Frontierland. Why Frontierland? You want to do Main Street, right, Beth? No, not for this one. The parade begins in Frontierland, and then it weaves out to Main Street. Most people like to watch it on Main Street. But the advantage of Frontierland is you see the parade first, and then you can walk back out through Adventureland and get your transportation back to the resort before people see the parade on Main Street. So you can sort of beat those crowds. Plus, Frontierland has some fun entertainment while waiting for the parade. They have the cadaver dance that I mentioned. They're singing. Country bears are walking around entertaining. So there's some food back there, and some shops. So there's a lot more things to do to sort of help you occupy your time, and you're not in sort of the crush of the crowd for that first parade. My goal, I was on the hunt for a few party exclusive food items. Plus, I had to ride the Haunted Mansion. You don't go to a Halloween party and not ride the Haunted Mansion, right? Plus, I wanted to trick or treat because it's the only place that really it's appropriate for person my age to still do that. And our goal was to stay up late enough to hit the late parade. So I think we did everything. I think we were good. Like I said, there were some characters that I would have loved to see, but I just couldn't. I couldn't do it this time. But I think everything else went according to plan. So I met up with John after he was done with Tron, and then we went to the Haunted Mansion. They had I didn't know this was going to happen, but this was so much fun. So they had Ghost at the entrance, and they were entertaining everyone in line, and they were so funny. They were very quick. They were interacting with the crowd. I mean, I could have really just hung out at the doorway all night and watched them. It was a lot of fun. I think we talked about this in our Destination D23 episode that they were supposed to add, they're adding the Hatbox Ghost to the ride. He was not there yet, so I think the announcement we heard was end of November. So I'm not really sure what is taking so long, but we didn't get to see him, and I was sort of hoping for that. Like I said, we wanted to try some of the party exclusive foods. There were 3 that we decided upon. There was a skull-shaped Mexican chocolate brownie filled with dulce de leche. It was on a cart outside of the Haunted Mansion. The brownie was really good. It had that nice Mexican spice and even a little bit of heat. But I wouldn't say the one we had was filled with dulce de leche. It was good, but it could have been a little better. Another one we had was called candy corn milkshake. Stick with me here. It was a sweet corn soft serve topped with whipped cream and a sweet potato cornbread nugget. It was really good, and I would totally have that one again. Again, it sort of sounds weird, but it really tasted good. And the last food item we had was zombie finger cookies, which were an almond cookie shaped like a finger. And they were in a cup of key lime pie white chocolate ganache. Had salted caramel pearls and sugar eyes. And believe it or not, that was our favorite of the 3. I would have that again like tomorrow. It was really cute. I'll have pictures up on Instagram. It was cute. It tasted good. It was fun. It was fun to share. So definitely worth that. And that's at Starlight. It's Cosmic Rays restaurant. And then we did our trick-or-treating. We filled up both of our bags with the treats, and it was just fun to walk around and collect the scoops of candy from cast members. I don't know that I'll have to buy candy for a while. It was a good haul and a lot of fun. Again, like, it's not appropriate for adults to trick or treat in many places, but it was fun. It was fun to interact with the cast members. That's, I always love that. The parade, we made the late parade, but real talk, my legs were so sore at this point, and I felt a bit like Olaf in summer, just dealing with heat and rain on and off in the evening. But I made it through the parade, and I'm glad I did. I sound whiny, and I apologize for that, but we decided to brave Main Street instead of Frontierland for the parade. We thought maybe being closer to the exit because the crowds were a lot less. And we got a really good spot. If the Headless Horseman came out, we would have had a really good spot for him, but because of the rain, he did not make an appearance, which was disappointing, but I mean, we get it totally. Everyone has to be safe. So the parade was fun. I love seeing my favorite characters in their Halloween costumes. Just the level of talent and entertainment and the heart and soul everyone puts into those. It's really fun. Would I do the party again? I think so. I mean, I definitely would do it later in September or October. I think if you've listened to this in the Food and Wine, you know I'm probably not going back down to Disney for Labor Day unless there's a really big reason to do it. I'm not made for that heat. I'm just not. I would definitely stop at a monorail resort again before heading into the park. I think, but they did announce the lounge at the Destination D23, and I mentioned that in an episode. So that might be a game changer for these parties too. That'll be interesting how that's handled with a lounge. But stopping and just making sure you had a pretty good meal before we ate all the treats and stuff. Like we had good food at the lounge, so I would definitely recommend doing that, having a good meal, good, maybe a drink or two or just whatever, before heading in. Would I recommend to everyone to do this party? No. I'm going to be honest. You guys know I try to be honest with you, good, bad, and ugly. If you're not a huge Disney fan or even a Halloween fan, I'm not really sure how much you would enjoy it. The lines are shorter, yes, but there are other after-hour events that would maybe work better for you. On the flip side, if you are a huge Hocus Pocus or Disney fan, I think it's worth checking out. There's a lot of fun stuff, characters, things that you wouldn't normally see. As I've said before, and I'll probably say a million times in future episodes, I think the best thing to do when attending any of these kind of things is to really pick your priorities for the evening or whatever time period, because you won't get as overwhelmed, and then you'll make sure you do, what you want to do. Alternatively, if you don't have any must-dos, just wing it. Enjoy walking around and taking it all in. You really can just enjoy the moment, the park, the people there. The atmosphere at the Halloween party is really fun. It's a lot more relaxed, loud music playing. It's much more of a party than a typical day at Magic Kingdom. So, it might be a good way to experience Magic Kingdom for your first time too. So, like I said, you do what you're comfortable with. But, if you want to have a full Disney experience, then definitely, check it out. But check the list of rides to make sure the rides you want to check out are available as well. But, have a good time, get out there. If you go and you wear a costume, please tag me, let me know. I want to see what it is. But I hope these episodes inspire you to get out and roam, even in your own neighborhood. So please subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. And if you like what we're doing here, please leave a review and a rating. It's so important. Also, to help support us, please head to yeti2shop.com to pick up some Roaming Yeti merch. Talk to you soon, and remember to keep roaming.